welcome once again, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And yeah, it's back to Eaglemoss today, and we're going to be taking a look at yet another oldie, but yet another goodie, at least in my opinion. We're going to be taking a look at the more obscure Romulan Galor class. Obscure, but not as obscure. And of course, this ship is one of the earlier ships in the collection. As far as the magazine says, it's issue number 14, so I think nearly as old as the Reliant in terms of releases. And yeah, we're going to take a look at this today. Of course, the Cardassians, kind of a subtle antagonist in the Next Generation. They were around for a few episodes. Then, of course, they were a primary antagonist in Deep Space Nine. And we're going to dig into this ship today. But before we dig into the ship, let's dig into the magazine. And I'm going to bust that out right now. So we'll move the Galor class off to the side. And, of course, here we have the Galor class right there. And if you notice one thing, the deflector on the Galor class is red. Or I believe that, I'm not sure if that's the deflector, the disruptor. I know the magazine will tell us, but it's blue here, so not sure what that signifies, and I'm just kind of pointing it out for fun. But there we have a nice 3D rendered shot, actually very nicely detailed shot of the Galor class. It is a Cardassian Galor class. It is the Galor class launched in the 24th century at a length of 372 meters and a warp speed of 9.6, and it is owned by the Cardassian Union. And of course, we have the Galor class warship, changing the face of Gul Dukat, designing the ship on screen, and of course we have our stand instructions, and then we have a nice front orthographic view of the Galor class. It is operated by the Cardassian Union. It's a Galor class, 372 meters, warp 9.6. It is a crew of 600, quite a bit for that ship, and it has 8 spiral wave disruptors, a torpedo launcher, and green energy dampening weapon, of course some Deep Space Nine, and of course, yeah, that's it. And then, of course, we have some nice views of the Galor class, the lower side, the upper little module, and then, of course, the front of the ship. And let's move the magazine on. And, oh, pages got stuck together. And, of course, we have a nice bottom shot. I actually think this is the best view of this ship. Just kind of looks like a serpent of sorts. Galor class warships made of the bulk of the Cardassian fleet and proved a constant and deadly menace for the Federation. And of course, you see them in quite a few episodes. The Union, Chain of Command, and of course, we have some nice shots from Deep Space Nine. We got some Hideki class ships, another obscure ship, and then of course, we got the Galor class. Let's see, we have a Galor class attacking, I believe, the Enterprise. We have a Galor class around Deep Space Nine, and then of course, we have scenes from, I believe this is Sacrifice of Angels. There's the Majestic getting ripped apart. And there we have our orthographic shots of the Cardassian ship. And yes, that is the main deflector. And of course, it has an embedded warp engine. Look at all that. I love these orthographic views. Again, the ship just definitely, you can see it just looks like kind of a proverbial like barracks of sorts, a movable barracks. And of course, they already have more shots from Deep Space Nine. All the pages are getting stuck together. They're all running together. And then, of course, we have Gul Dukat, played, of course, by the immortal Mark Alamo, or Lamo, excuse me, not sure how that's pronounced, so do forgive me, because definitely he played a superb villain. And there we have, of course, Kira Nerys, played by Nana Visitor, and again, these guys, these two just played an awesome job on Deep Space Nine. And then, of course, we have, speaking of immortal actors, Jeffrey Combs, who played Wei Yung, and again, more shots of Gul Dukat from Deep Space Nine. And then we got, of course, we have some designing the Cardassian class, the Cardassian Galor class. Excuse me, we have some shots of the Galor class. Then we have another, looks like a pre-render of the ship. Then we have some more shots of the Galor class. Not too much in terms of the concepts. Looks like a kind of a dreadnought type ship. And then, of course, we have a Galor class getting the crap get pounded out of it. And that is it for the magazine. Then we have a nice upper orthographic view of the Galor class. So let's start off with our stand instructions, and it is typical as our most Eaglemoss models. You have our square hole right here, you have our peg hole right here, you put that in, and that is pretty stable. And then you could take the Cardassian ship, and the little teeth fit right around the hull right near the nacelle area. And you can see it has kind of a lifted stand, so it looks like it's going into outer space. But nevertheless, let's get a good look at the Galor class. The time has come, and this ship is kind of a mixed bag. So I'll say right off the bat, I do feel kind of like a cold metal type feeling. It does have a little bit of heft, so I do feel like there's a little bit of metal hidden in the belly of this beast. But the coloration, I know the coloration is a product of how it was colored in Star Trek. It just makes it kind of look almost toy-like. It doesn't have that kind of more premium feel that I get from an Eaglemoss. But nevertheless, you can see this colored in that sand color right there. And one thing I do like is you got all these nice blue painted windows all around the hull of the ship. You can see that it really kind of gives the ship a sense of scale. You can really kind of almost feel all 382 some odd meters of this ship. Again, very flat, no Aztecing along the nacelle boards, and you got the Cardassian symbol. Of course, you got some Cardassian text. That is really cool how they incorporated that. Again, if you move towards the bridge of the ship, you got like kind of a venting detail right along the side, not symmetrical, more Cardassian text, and the Cardassian Union symbol. And then you got the bridge dome area right here. It does have some blue lighting to indicate windows, giving that sense of scale. It's kind of in a poop brown color. And then of course, if we move to the bottom, you can see tons of molded detail. This bridge module is a separate piece, by the way. I'm not sure if this is indicated as being able to separate. I think it is. And of course, I mean, not in the model itself, but as far as the ship goes. And then of course, we have the deflector done in a nice red transcleared or translucent plastic, and it really adds a sense of more premium feel to an otherwise not so premium feeling model. You can see you kind of got the nacelle bassards all done in a nice orange. That looks really, really good. At least I think these are the bassards, since they say that these were where the nacelles are. They're integrated. So that looks really, really good, and a very odd color for bassards, and I am here for that. Got a lot of molded detail as we move along the bottom. Molded detail, got some venting detail up front. I believe this might be a cargo door. And then if we look, we got cargo doors on the side inset in there, more window details. Moving on, she's otherwise a very flat bottom ship. Flat bottom ships, you make the rockin' world go round. And then as we moved back, you got some molded, some extruded detail back here. You got some more venting or like a door detail back here, and along the length of the ship, you got some lighting detail. You have the Cardassian symbol card. This thing's all there. You know who this ship belongs to. Venting detail as we move all the way towards the stern of the ship, and then of course we have our two prongs right back here. This piece very nicely detailed. You can see a little bit of blue at the tip right there, and it just kind of comes to a little abrupt end for most of the ship. And as we come back towards the upper side of the ship, you can see more venting detail as we move all the way to the back. And then of course we got some extruded modules up here, more molded detail going back in. So again, just has that real kind of military barracks feel of a ship. It's like you can tell it's transporting all these troops and armies and whatnot. So again, but yeah, and there we have it. That is it for the Galor class. And for a couple quick comparisons, we'll bring in one of my first Eaglemoss reviews. We'll bring in the Keldon class. Of course, this is the more heavily armored version of the ship that we see in Deep Space Nine episode Defiant. You can see all the changes they made. A lot more Aztecing on the Keldon class. Keldon class really kind of busts out the detail. You can see the deeper changes in the color too. It's like it kind of went back and revised the model itself. And again, moving towards the front, you can see the Keldon also kind of sporting the orange and black deflector. It's got a lot more detail, just a lot more detail in general on the Keldon. You can also see, you know, more molded detail along the bottom of the ship. Again, the nacelles just decked out in Aztecing molded detail. So again, definitely just a lot more done to the Keldon class. Let's get a side view. I'm forgetting what kind of views we had here. And yeah, so not much changes on the side. They all look pretty, they all look pretty decent as far as detail goes. But I think the Keldon overall, it would almost be interesting if they kind of redid the Galor model. I know this is all, you know, just thinking about the past year because Eaglemoss is gone, but if they redid the Galor with the Kelvin detailing. And there we have that. And then, of course, let's bring in the Enterprise XL so we can see it next to a hero ship of the day. And actually, I don't think this scale is too far off. I mean, the Cardassian ship may be a little bit shorter, but overall, I think this kind of works. The Enterprise is supposed to be 642 meters, and I know it's a feudal battle to look at Eaglemoss for scaling, but I actually think that this almost works, and you could just see how that looks. Again, not sure from the height perspective. I'm going strictly off of length, and hold on, let me change the way I'm holding this so you can see it from the side. Get yourself the best view that you can, and you can see it from the side view there. And then, of course, let's get a frontal view right here so you can see the ships from the front. And yeah, there you go for some comparisons. So let's summarize, and there we have it for the Eaglemoss official Star Trek Starships collection, issue number 14, the Cardassian Galor class. And yeah, you know, just another oldie in this collection, and it does have a few, I wouldn't call them flaws, but it does have kind of some letdowns. You know, the lack of detailing, especially the lack of Aztecing, the kind of, you know, I would say the color almost has kind of a toy feel. Now, yes, again, I know this is attributed, I know that Eaglemoss, they kind of, if there was a 3D model of it, they pretty much took it verbatim. So I know this is probably due to the design of the ship itself, or as the ship appeared in Star Trek. But nevertheless, I definitely think, you know, as far as Cardassian models go, Eaglemoss definitely kind of stepped up when it came to doing the later Kelvin class, which came much later in the collection. And that said, you know, honestly, if we ever get this ship collection coming back around from yet another manufacturer, I would not mind seeing an XL of this ship done with a bit more detail. I think that would absolutely be super cool. But nevertheless, this is still a cool ship. It is cool to have in the collection. It's solid, no alignment issues, at least on mine. It stays together very well, and it does have a nice hefty feel. And again, if you're, especially if you're a fan of alien ships and the alien races, this will look good in your collection. So I do give it a recommend nevertheless, especially if you could find it on Master Replicas for a lower price. And I'm going to look on Master Replicas before I post this video. I'll put a link in the description down below if I do find the ship, if you want to pick one up for yourself. Don't pay scalper prices. I put these links there for your benefit. And that being said, that is going to conclude this review. So if you found this review fun and informative, consider hitting that like button down below. Also, if you are a fan of Eaglemoss Star Trek ships or Transformers or other kinds of nerdy toy stuff, again, consider subscribing to my channel if you are not currently subscribed. Thank you so much to those of you that are almost at 500, and I greatly appreciate it. I'm kind of forming my own federation here, even though this is a Cardassian Union ship. And that being said, that is going to conclude this review. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.